Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We are delighted you're here. They're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. And we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. And we have a listen line if you'd like to listen to your instructors as you travel or on your phone at home. The listen line is 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. Nathan is engineering the broadcast at Genesis Communications Network in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli. Captain John Regan's with us. Welcome, Captain John Regan.
Good morning, Vincent.
Hey, good morning, John. John, you've been busy preparing for today's class, and I've been to the website, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, and I've clicked on the news tab, and I'm all excited. So, anything new with you?
Well, let me start with something that occupied my time 24 years ago. I got up very early that morning and drove from Houston to Beaumont to watch Becky walk across the stage and get her bachelor's degree. And then that afternoon, she got her MRS. So it's it's our 24th anniversary, and it's been a 24-year honeymoon.
Isn't that great? I remember receiving correspondence from the university where Mrs. Finelli attended and got her degrees, and or one of her degrees. And they said, "So what are you doing now?" And I said, "Well, can I fill this out for you?" So I said, she's got her MRS, she's got her CHM, and that's what's new. A certified housewife and mother. CHM. Yeah, John, I remember, the early days at the universities, and, some of the guys would say, they'd mention that, a girl over there, that girl over there, she's pursuing her MRS degree. MRS means she was looking for a husband, right? You've heard that too, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I came back early this morning. I did a nonstop trip in the truck from Tennessee at the RK Prepper Show. I was so much fun. I was fortunate enough to be in front of a group talking about tax deductions, preparedness. Absolutely do not purchase anything on fear. And we talked about what's really happening. We talked about the moon landing hoax. And one of the things that I did not mention was that the reason I know it's a hoax is that I met with a representative from NASA in Richmond, Virginia in 1993 at the State Fair, and I was looking at the NASA pictures that they were displaying of this moon landing hoax, and I said, "These are fake." And when I pointed out the flaws in them, like no stars and the reflection of the photographer on the helmet, reflective helmet, of the alleged astronaut, or the guy posing as an astronaut in the picture, that you could see the photographer at his tripod with no spacesuit. So we talked about, those kinds of things. But when I mentioned that to this NASA representative, she said, You're right. These photographs were taken on a stage in Houston. And another thing that I didn't mention, and should have probably, was that I was at Baker Creek Seeds many years ago, telling this story to some guy that I met there. And there were just 4 people in the store at Baker Creek Seed down the road from our farm. And I mentioned this story, and this guy, was really surprised at what I was saying. And he said, what makes you say that? And I told him about this moon landing hoax. And, he kind of put his head down, and he said, yeah, I was the photographer. And he confirmed that it was staged. He was the photographer, and it was done in Houston, Texas. Houston, we have a problem. So the moon landing, from everything I can tell and my personal experiences, and I've connected a couple dots. One was looking at the official NASA photographs in Richmond, Virginia at the State Fair in 1993, talking to the NASA representative in uniform. She had a uniform on, and she admitted that, yeah, they were faked. And they were done on a stage, and then meeting the photographer who took the pictures. So that's the rest of the story, if you will. So, John, what do you have for us?
Well, this weekend we decided to celebrate a little bit. We don't go to the movie theater often for a couple of reasons. One, there's hardly anything worth watching, and 2, it's just so darn expensive nowadays. But
Right.
This was the opening weekend of Amerigeddon, and we'd heard a lot about that, and we did get the morning matinee price of less than $5 a ticket, and I was so looking forward to it, and the first 10 minutes weren't too bad, and even kind of enjoyed the part where Alex Jones played a psychopathic senator. They were having a hearing on EMP, and I thought, maybe this would be a movie I can recommend to help people wake up and start taking some action. But then it devolved into just being about guns and fighting off UN invading army and having Texas succeed. So I really cannot recommend the movie to anybody. And on top of that, there were such glaring errors that, not only in how you would do things, but just in the whole way you would prepare for an EMP, what's most important in life afterwards. And that really was not brought up in the movie at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And in that line of thinking, that preparedness line of thinking, tonight, Silent Night will be presenting a seminar on meat processing, how to process meat, starting with a live animal. So meat processing, Silent Night's going to teach that at Jimmy's Egg in Springfield, Missouri. I'm posting information on the website during the commercial break coming up. And also, he'd like to talk about potatoes, and are potatoes killing you? So 2 topics for tonight: meat processing, how to do it, what it's all about, what to think about, what to know about, how to do it, and from someone who does and has. And also about potatoes, are they killing you? That's Silent Night tonight, 4:45 to 8 p.m., Jimmy's Egg, Springfield, Missouri, Battlefield Road. And it's absolutely free. And if you'd like to have dinner, you're certainly welcome to do that. And then next week, I believe it's next week, let me just check. Next week I will be at the meetup, Jimmy's Egg, with Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Sergey Sorin. I'll be introducing Dr. Sorin and Dr. Shealy, and they'll be talking about health and medicine. Jimmy's Egg next Monday night with Dr. Shealy and Dr. Sorin. Tonight, Silent Night, meat processing. Okay. Really, one of the really neat things that we do at these expos is we try to grab a bite to eat with our friends. And David Snyder listens to this broadcast regularly. So we had dinner with his wife, and Craig Douglas joined in, and Terry Carroll and his assistant. Terry Carroll is a physicist who has a really interesting greenhouse design. He's going to come on the air with us and talk about that in about 3 or 4 weeks when he gets back from his traveling and seminar presentations all over the country. And I met a really interesting gentleman by the name of Carlos Hernandez. He has a company called radioparts.com, and he's going to teach us about two-way radios. And so I met some really interesting people. I met a submariner, and he's going to teach us about what happens on submarines, what they do, how they work, and that'll be a lot of fun as well. So a really, really fun trip. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I don't know if I'll be invited to it or not. I hope I can get to be at the next RK Prepper show, but that's June 25th in Springfield, Missouri, right in our neck of the woods. So that ought to be a lot of fun. So, John, where do you want to start?
Well, let me talk about the preparedness articles I'd posted today. One is on the seed scarification, which I found interesting. A lot of seeds have some thick, hard shells on them, and if you take some of that shell off, you don't want to damage the inner part of the seed. It allows water to get in quicker, and you can sprout seeds quicker than you would otherwise. I've got a link for tornadoes since it's getting to be that season, and would like to remind you that, once the poop hits the props, you're not going to have weather radios to alert you. Whether it's dogs or you start doing some kind of domed housing that's tornado resistant, just to protect yourself during the night. And then Revenge of the Pathogens. The article titles 10 Diseases That Will Increase After a Collapse. So just some things to keep in mind.
Is that something that you'd like to go into deeper when we come back, the
sure.
diseases?
Well, let's go ahead and cover what the 10 are.
Yeah. Captain John Regan's with us. I'm Vin Finelli, USAPrepares.com. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-941-5257. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-941-5257. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-941-5257. That's 1-800-941-5257.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
Class Captain John Regan's with us. John, I wanted to share one quick side note. You know, yesterday and also Friday night when I was traveling to Tennessee to the Arcade Prepper Show, Tennessee has got no shortage of these cheese graters that prevent you from escaping to the median should there be a need to get out of the way of a crash. They want to make sure that you are involved in that crash because there's no place to go. They've taken them, these 200-300 foot wide medians, and they've put these cheese graters on there so you can't use them. Well, on the way into as I was getting closer to my final destination in Tennessee, there was traffic backed up for 10 miles. Single lane, and all the highway department did was take a 2-lane highway and funnel it into 1 lane. At 10 o'clock at night, Friday night, it was backed up 10 miles just from that. On the way back to the farm yesterday, the other side of the highway, they were working on it as well, and they funneled 2 lanes into 1. And I'm talking a 70-mile-an-hour highway. 2 lanes into 1. Backed up, bumper to bumper, for 10 miles. So the point is, if you think that you're going to be able to get out of Dodge when something bad happens, it's going to be terrible. I saw it. I've seen it over and over again, and I was stuck in it twice in the last 3 days. Absolutely stuck in it. And one car might have run out of fuel right there in the midst of this. And that made it even worse. And did anybody help? No. Could a rescue vehicle have gotten there? No. How would they do that? Because it was all sectioned off, so it was only 1 lane. There's nowhere to go. It was horrible. So I just want to share that with you. If you think that, John talked about tornadoes. If you see one ahead, and on the post that you have, John, you can see the tornado ahead in this post, and there's a wide open highway, a couple lanes. You could get out of the way. You can go across the median. You can turn around. Not in Missouri, and not where I was in Tennessee. You couldn't do it. There's no place to go. You're going to go head on into it because the cars behind you are going to push you right into it. It's horrible. Poor design. I think I think the people who have engineered and implemented this and approved it should be arrested for reckless endangerment of we, the villagers. Okay. Sorry for the diversion.
A diversion? I'm shocked.
Well, John, I was angry. I mean, I was literally furious. This did not have to happen. And why did they do it? So they could work on the road. But they weren't working on it Friday night. They weren't working on it on Sunday. But they left it so that you couldn't use the highway. I guess, Monday through Friday they have banker's hours or something when they work on the roads now. Man. And who approves these designs where they say, you know what, I know we're going to outgrow this, but let's just put in one lane. And they go, well, yeah, we did outgrow it. Maybe we'll put in another lane. I know we're going to outgrow the second lane, but let's just put in one more. Why don't they plan for the future? Why can't governments do that? They seem to be allergic to thinking. Maybe it's worse than an allergy to thinking. Maybe they're so defective they can't think. Maybe it's impossible. Well, actually, I think that's right. They can't think. That's why they have to hire consultants to do their jobs for them. Have you ever noticed that, John? Government agencies hire consultants to do the job that the government employees were supposed to do in the first place, but they're not capable of doing it.
Plus, it's much more lucrative to put in, roads that aren't big enough, and they use materials that degrade within 10 or 20 years. That way, they get to put them in all over again, make more money.
Yep. Yeah, no disagreement here. Wow, half hour already gone. All right, we'll be right back. Captain John Regan, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you, so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
Captain John Reagan's was. John, just one other little note. I had a chance to listen to the radio for about 20 hours in the truck as I went to the Arcade Prepper Shows Expo in Tennessee. And I got to tell you, I had a chance to listen during the day, the afternoon, evening, overnight. And the radio that I heard, most of it, was there are a lot of infomercials disguised as talk radio. And it was upsetting to me. And then I heard this idiotic type radio broadcast with ill-prepared, unknowledgeable hosts and co-hosts. You know, with prepared scripts, like one person would have, a prepared set of items to talk about and not know much about those topics. And they just laugh and giggle and, did you see? No, I didn't see. Well, how is it possible that you go on the radio with a co-host sitting in the same studio and you talk about things that both, or one or the other knows nothing about? How do you have a conversation about something when your co-host knows nothing about it? How do you do that? It's ridiculous. And my perception of what I saw, and I was just a 20-hour, over 3 days, radio listening binge in the truck. How is it that hosts are becoming readers of show notes that are prepared by other people, and they have no idea what they're talking about? How do we get to this point? And yet, they're on the air. I don't get it. I don't hear very much radio that talks about actually how to do something. Literally how to approach a problem, what kind of tools you need, what kind of skills you need, why the problem exists in the first place, how to solve the problem. I don't hear much of that. There's an absence of that. There's a vacuum. Just my opinion, John, from what I observed by listening to radio in the truck. Even the commercials that I heard on over-the-air radio. Some of the commercials are idiotic. Do they think that everybody's a fool? Everybody's an idiot? Everybody needs to be talked down to? Below the lowest common denominator? Wow. It's insulting. Goofy radio.
You know, if you want to have fun, you're traveling with somebody and one of those pharmaceutical commercials comes on, you know, the ones where the disclaimer is about 10 times longer than the ad. In the middle of that disclaimer and your, best radio announcer, fast voice, say, minor death may occur.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And Norm Shealy talks about that. And, side effects. And he says they're not side effects, they're complications. And if you go for a colonoscopy and you read that form that you signed just before that long, large hose gets inserted, just before you are knocked out, you'll see that complications may include death. No kidding. No kidding. Okay, John, where do we go?
Well, we were going to talk about the 10 diseases.
Yeah.
And you might want to keep that link and talk to Dr. Shealy about it, see if he has any recommendations for how you can treat some of these once modern pharmaceuticals aren't available, because several of these are deadly without treatment. Number one on the list is typhus, and this is a disease spread by the body louse. And because we've got such great sanitation in our modern times, we hardly ever hear about this. But as this last line in the paragraph says, history teaches us that typhus loves downturns and has been shown to surge during and after every major crisis, be it war, a stock market crash, or a natural disaster. And we may be seeing all three of those coming up. So, because we've got, great laundry facilities and most of us, take a shower, bathe regularly, it's not a big deal. Similar sounding name, but totally different is typhoid. It's caused by a bacteria that's spread by contaminated food and water. And when you get overcrowded, unsanitary conditions, that's when that takes effect.
John,
yes.
There's a little town in Virginia that I used to do some consulting in, and they have a rail line that runs right along Main Street in this little town. And what was happening is trash was hauled from New York City, because how do you get the trash out of the city? Well, they were hauling it to other states on the rail lines. And this town had no problems with rats until they started hauling this trash from New York City. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is a huge problem, and we don't realize that rats are the size of cats in New York City. So what happened is this train engine would pull these cars loaded with trash. They would stop for, refueling or something in this little town. And the rats would jump off. So they hitched a ride on the rail, jumped off, and then so the New York City rats are spreading outward with the trash that's being hauled. So when a little hamlet decides, you know what, we can use the money, we'll take that revenue that New York is paying to get rid of their trash, well, they're also going to get other benefits, like rats, along with the trash. So just another thought, John, rats are going to be a huge problem. Mice are going to be a huge problem when the grid goes down.
And we're getting to come up on several conditions related to that. Number 3 on the list is pellagra. This is caused by a lack of vitamin B3. And what may be surprising is that this was endemic up to just a few decades ago, so into the 20th century. It causes a slow and painful death. So you either need to stock up on B3 or make sure that you've got you're growing food that has plentiful B3 in it. I'm talking about rats and mice. Hantavirus, that's caused by the ingestion of dried mouse droppings, and of course with the lack of sanitation, you get more rats and mice, and they like to leave stuff behind. Bubonic plague, basically spread by the bite of a rat flea, so it's not really the rat, but the fleas that the rat carries with us. Leptospirosis, it's not just the droppings, it's the pee as well. Then we got insects, Chagas disease, the kissing disease. I think we've even covered that before. Food poisoning, since there'd be less, a combination of less sanitation plus no refrigeration. Heart attacks and strokes, especially given people coming quickly off things like blood pressure medicine, plus the increased physical activity that most of us aren't conditioned for, and also with the environmental changes. You don't have the central heat and air, so you'd be working out with sometimes 100-degree plus heat, or 20-degree or below temperatures, and that puts a stress on the body. And then it talks about emerging diseases, including different kinds of flus. I would think I'd also include mosquito and tick-borne pathogens, because you're going to spend more time outside, which is going to expose you to ticks and mosquitoes more. And I think I'd also include STDs in there, because people are going to be lonely and wanting some companionship, and some of those things that you can share can be deadly. Vincent?
Yeah, you were mentioning companionship. I was thinking about the transgender identity problem, that this distraction that Barry and the bandits have unleashed on us. And I mentioned yesterday in Tennessee that if our son was with his girlfriend and she wanted to use the ladies' room, he would wait outside the ladies' room to make sure that she was, okay and safe and all that stuff. Same thing happens when our son is with Mrs. Finelli. He's very polite, but he also took third place when he competed in the National Karate Championships in Disney many, many, many years ago. So he's, well equipped to handle himself. And I know that if he's waiting outside the ladies' room and some guy walks in there because Barry says it's okay, I know our son is going to go in that ladies' room. I know that. And I also know that that guy who walked in will have a broken nose. I know that. And I don't think our son is alone. I think the same thing would happen if our son's grandmother went in, or, someone else that our son cares about. And I have a feeling a whole bunch of guys will do the same thing. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now. with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Purchase a ProPure system during the Crazy May sale and get a free ProMax shower filter or water filter pitcher. Remove up to 200 contaminants with the Pro 1G 2.0 truly cleanable, reusable filter. We don't stretch our claims, we just deliver performance. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771. Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
A good stove is at the top of the list for any serious survivalist. That's why you have to see the full range at Emberlit.com. Simple, elegant, but extraordinarily efficient. Available in titanium or stainless steel, the Emberlit line of stoves are ultralight, pack flat, and work great. Fueled only by sticks and debris. From emergency situations to long-term survival, Emberlit stoves are up to the task. Emberlit, the most convenient, easy-to-carry wood stoves on the planet. See them all at Emberlit.com.
Captain John Regan's with us. And I was thinking, John, the products that we want to make available to our class. We should probably get some of those selfie sticks so that we can all have them. Can you imagine? We'd be stuck with every single one. Nobody who listens to this broadcast would have a selfie stick. But it's totally ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, what's next?
Well, since we're almost out of hour one, let's go ahead and start with hour one. Well,
yeah.
Actually, let's go to last week that we didn't get to.
Okay.
And the shorter one that we can probably fit in is Anonymous, you're a criminal. And
yeah,
there's been a rule change, and the Supreme Court bought off on this that would allow the FBI, along with a federal judge, to issue a search and seizure warrant for any target, and my understanding is anywhere in the world, for people using anonymity software, which includes things like Tor browsers. So if you do anything to try and anonymize yourself, you are now a suspected criminal.
Well, I agree. I agree with that in this regard. When a bank calls me and I ask who I'm speaking with, and they won't give me their name, they're trying to be anonymous. So let's make sure that no one, if we're going to pursue this, and I don't like the idea, of course, but if we're going to pursue this, let's make sure that every single police officer has his name and his home address available on the internet, and his name, full name, on his uniform. Okay? And in the same regard, there will be no police cars that are not identified on all sides, including the top, as a police car with reflective signage. Okay? All police cars will be identified. All government vehicles will be identified. When Barry is in one of those caravans, it will be identified which one he's in. Barry's in this armored car right here. Senators, Congress criminals, everybody who works for the government will be identified going forward. How about that? I mean, if they want to play this way, let's play this way. And if they want to have grenades and flashbang grenades and stun grenades and all the accoutrements that they have, we get them too. They want bazookas, good. We get bazookas too. If they want drones with cameras, we get them. If they want drones with missiles, we get them. Whatever is good for them, we get it too. No hiding. No more hiding. And if we want to spy, on what the police are doing in the privacy of their own, what used to be the privacy of their own homes, right? We can turn on their cameras. We can turn on their phones. We can watch what they're doing. We can record it. Okay, let's do it. See, that's the problem, John. They don't want us to have any privacy whatsoever. They do not want us to be anonymous. They don't even want us to use cash. They found this ugly, the ugliest looking slave they could find and put that slave on a 20. Right?
What's interesting about that, though, is they did as much research as they did when they faked Obama's birth certificate and put African American for the race. The slave was a Republican and a gun owner. Believed in the Constitution.
Oops. What Constitution? That has been shredded. And George W. Bush said it. And it made me very angry when he said it, when I heard him say the Constitution is just a GD piece of paper. But you know what? He was right. Okay. Wow. First hour gone. Captain John Regan's going to be with us second hour today, and he's going to be with us tomorrow because he keeps interrupting me. So it's going to take 2 days to do what we could probably have done in 1 day. So John Regan will be back Right after the top of the hour, commercial announcements and news, and he'll be back tomorrow for 2 hours. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from newharvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all-natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at newharvestfoods.com. That's newharvestfoods.com.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. I have an update about Mike Parsons. Here it is. This is from Mrs. Parsons. You heard her on the air with us last week. The email says, I talked with Mike. He is in a really bad state mentally and physically. He was ill with his mom yesterday and with me this morning. He told me that if you pull up his shirt, he looked like someone out of Africa with his ribs showing. Please keep him in your prayers. He's not well. Pat Parsons. We have to get Mike Parsons out of jail. He's been there for over 5 months. And what he did was he was going to clean up the Good Old Boy Network in Dipton County, Tennessee. So we'll keep you posted. But if you're inclined to pray, please add Mike Parsons, USA Prepares Instructor, to your prayers. He is in the belly of the beast right now. John, there's a post on the internet about this tractor trailer driving through Ash Fork, Arizona, and it had a lift, a man lift on the back of this tractor trailer. This is one of those kind of like telescoping buckets where a guy gets in there and he can do some work on telephone wires or buildings. Just needs to get up there on the outside, and so there's this piece of gear, and to do that, our son's been in one of them, and so this driver of this, or operator of this tractor trailer, is traveling, and the police get a report that he's driving erratically, so they want to stop him, and they do. They stop him. They shoot at the truck. And of course, the truck jackknifes, and they get the dog, and the dog captures this guy. That's all that this report says. But we've come to the point where the police are now shooting at operators of vehicles. And of course, those who read the article say, "Well, good. I'm glad we got him stopped." Is that how you do this? You shoot the driver? Are you kidding? This is insanity. I'll post it. Oh, I just posted it on the website. I just finished right now. Okay. John Regan?
Well, while your button's pushed on that, I've got an article down in the bigger picture. Indiana now a police state. Their Supreme Court has ruled that all a cop has to do is want to go into your house, and you have to let him. No warrant or anything.
Wow. How about if I want to go in his house? You know, I want to see what a vial of testosterone looks like. How about if I want to do that? Who are these people? I'll tell you what, I hope it doesn't happen here. It will be a bad day. And, you know, here's what I'm seeing, John. We, the villagers, puff out our chest and, you know, we go, that's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to let that happen. And we let it happen. But, you know, we keep hearing this anger. The villagers are angry, and that's why they're supporting Donald Trump. They've had it with all of these politicians. Of course they lie. And we're just sick. We're just sick of these politicians. So if the grid goes down, I'm not going to be all that upset if it goes down in Washington, D.C. It'd be great to see how these guys deal with the rats. You know, they can't get rid of their own trash, right? They have to export their trash. They have to import their electricity. The traffic lights won't work. So then you have all these people who tell everybody else what to do. And then the traffic lights don't work in Washington, right? And now they're going to tell each other what to do. It'll be great. It'll be chaos. It'll be chaos. You have a whole bunch of people who are not productive. They don't do anything except tell other people what to do. And then they are dependent on us. They're dependent on us. So if Barry and his bandits call here at the farm and they want some grass-fed beef, I don't have any for him. He's not getting our beef. They'd have to come in with an army to get grass-fed beef from me. And I'd fight them all the way. I can't stand what's happening to our country. I was talking with a guy yesterday, and you know, a lot of us are resigned to the fact that there's so few who are on our team that there's no way we can win. The number of people who were in attendance at the entertainment buildings and facilities and companies near where we had the Prepper show dwarfed us, absolutely dwarfed us. And why is it? Why is it that a preacher, and I mentioned this, that I met this gal whose husband was teaching Sunday school. I met her on Saturday, and she said, boy, my husband would just love to come to this. He'd love to meet you. And I said, well, that'd be great. That'd be great. Why don't you bring him tomorrow, Sunday? She said, well, he's teaching Sunday school class. I said, well, why don't you have him bring the whole class? And she kind of looked at me and kind of laughed. And I said, yeah, I know. There's not one preacher I've asked for over 5 years. I've called all kinds of churches. I said, okay, you guys have 52 weeks, right? You want 52 weeks of spiritual preparedness. How about just 1 week? Just 1 week of physical preparedness. Why don't you bring your flock to the expo? I'll pay for it. I'll give you free tickets. They won't come. And they never have, except for Jim Baker. And the only reason he came is to learn how to do it. I believe that's why he came to 2 of our expos, to learn how to do it. Now he's selling millions of dollars worth of food on his TV show. Praise the Lord. I'm going to stop right there, because I know I'm going to say something that I'm going to regret. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and keep in the government vein, finish off. One of the things I wanted to get to last week, and that link is called Why Now? And this comes from a Zero Hedge article, Treasury induces new rules to stop tax evasion, kind of. And I think most people have heard about the Panama Papers, where people that, the rich and famous have created entities for themselves. And since most of us don't have the net worth to understand why you would do this, yes, some of these people may be guilty of tax evasion, and tax evasion is a crime. However, if you want to structure your what you do in order to reduce your taxes, that's perfectly legal. In fact, even in normal people's lives, if you participate in a 401k or an IRA, that's a way of structuring your affairs to reduce taxes. Well, once you get above a certain level, you then become a target of lawsuits, even if you've done nothing wrong. Attorneys will look up and see what you own, and they'll go after it simply because you have it. So a lot of these entities are simply to privatize what these people own. In fact, these aren't even the elites. The elites probably have, all kinds of ways of hiding their stuff that, goes way beyond what we're seeing here. And I was fortunate enough to take a course over 20 years ago offered by people that mostly taught about investments, but this law firm came in and they specialize in things like this, creating entities to structure your affairs to reduce taxes and protect yourself from lawsuits. And in fact, I noticed when I was going through Texas sales tax permits that CVS takes advantage of this. When you go to a CVS pharmacy, that location is its own limited partnership. And limited partnerships are nice because it insulates everything else. And they're not attacked very often because the funny thing about limited partnerships, if a judge would, award damages out of there and order the limited partnership to pay the person suing you, well, the limited partnership can, make the money that would take care of that payment, but they can also not pay it. And when they issue the tax form, the share of that profit would go to that person, but they wouldn't have the cash to pay the taxes. So that's why you don't see limited partnerships sued very often. And in the case of CVS, you sue them, what are you going to get? They've probably leased the facility. They've got only a certain amount of product in stock. So whatever their insurance is, that's probably about all you're going to get because you're not going to sue beyond that. You can't sue the larger entity. And I'll talk more about, what's the goal of this when we get back.
Sounds great. And that kind of training is what I did in seminars over the weekend in Tennessee at the RK Prepper Show. I taught how to pay less in taxes. Just what Donald Trump does. And CVS. Well, class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
So George Stephanopoulos, who is he's an American journalist, but he's a former Democrat Party political advisor. So he asks Donald Trump. He asked Donald Trump, what's your tax rate? And Donald Trump, was very polite. He said, "None of your business." It was great. And then Donald Trump said words to the effect that he works very hard to pay as little tax as possible. Everybody should do that. Everybody should work hard to pay as little tax as possible. And by the way, that was the subject matter of the seminar I gave over the weekend. Ways to pay as little tax as possible, absolutely above board, using their rules. Not tax evasion. That's illegal. But tax avoidance by planning your purchases is absolutely, positively the right thing to do. And I believe that's what Donald Trump does. Okay, back to you, John Regan.
I'm going to go down that rabbit hole and say, I think Trump ought to issue a challenge. Say, I'll release my tax return when Obama releases his education records. Because, if Obama's just concerned about a grade he made, might be embarrassed about it or something, hey, it doesn't matter now. He's not going to be elected to anything else. But it's not about grades. It's about showing that he was a foreign student. And if that ever came out, then everything he's done for the last 8 years has to be undone.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Obamacare, everything that he's done, all the transgressions, all the crimes, everything would be undone. And I believe that's why Washington, D.C. is in turmoil right now, because they're actually afraid that Donald Trump will be our president. And they're willing to support Hillary, the criminal she is, just so that doesn't happen. That's amazing. It just shows how incestuous these people are, and how they are willing to do anything to protect the money stream that they're enjoying at the disbenefit of the American people. It's an outrage. Never reelect anybody. There's more and more of us are joining that philosophy. Never reelect anybody, nor promote anybody. And I believe that's why Donald Trump is so popular. And I also believe that the news media is being manipulated to let the generally dumb public believe that he is not as popular as he is. Donald Trump is really popular. And I have a feeling that if he is not our president, there will be rioting. That would probably be the last straw of the American villager. That's it. We've had it.
So we were talking about the Panama Papers and why is this going on now? Let me quickly talk about corporations. Officers of a corporation is public record. And if you are a publicly traded company, then if you're a major shareholder, then those transactions have to be reported through the SEC, and you can see that on their website. So there's already a lot of transparency in that regard. Now, for the little bit of tax evasion that's going on in there, I can pretty much guarantee you the government is going to spend a lot more money than they're going to get in taxes in going down this route. And in fact, we saw that with the rules change where they made all the banks worldwide, report to the IRS. And that has cost more money than money it's brought in. And it's not about the taxes, it's about control. Because now they want to go in and, whereas before you could, hide what you're doing from the government, just because it's not their business. You're paying your taxes, you just want to be left alone. And I'll talk about the privacy part of this, which is the real reason when we get back.
You nailed it, John. That's what we want. We want to be left alone. We don't want to see police cars coming into our driveway. We don't want to see police cars pulling us over just because they're bored. We don't want to see them asking us questions that they have no business asking us. We want to be left alone.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. MiniCPAP.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's called the Transcend Mini CPAP, and right now you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-945-9289. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. Call minicpap.com now for your 10-day at-home trial. 1-800-945-9289. That's 1-800-945-9289.
Hi, this is Ron Paul. I'm former 22-year congressman and Republican presidential candidate. I'm here to tell you about something that just might save your lives. You never know when there will be another Katrina, an economic collapse, or a serious drought. We should all have a little food storage that will carry us through tough times. I'm going to tell you about a great way to do that. A U.S. company named Harvest Right has a kitchen appliance that can help you be prepared. It's a home freeze dryer. With the product, you can preserve the foods your family loves. And the best part is the food will last 25 years and still taste great. I've tried it and it's amazing. With a home freeze dryer from Harvest Right, you can literally freeze dry anything you eat, even things like ice cream. To learn more, call Harvest Right today at 800-594-4635 or go to harvestright.com. That's 800-594-4635 or harvestright.com.
Do you have dry hands or itchy, peeling skin? Are your cracked feet in need of a makeover for sandal season? Hi, my name is Diane Cook, the creator of Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream. Bee Spa is all natural, 16% beeswax, marigold extract, and other essential oils and nutrients. Bee Spa is great for exceptionally dry hands and feet, but Bee Spa can be used anywhere on the body. I am sure you will see a difference overnight. Bee Spa is the only cream you will ever need. The convenient 2.5 ounce size jar travels nicely and a little goes a long way. Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream costs $29.99. Use promotion code 101 for free shipping. Order Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream today at beespa.com. That's BEESPA.com. That's BEESPA.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Captain John Regan's with us, U.S. Air Force Reserves retired. John, please continue.
We're talking about the Panama Papers. Why now? What's the government up to? And I'll just fold in briefly a couple of things. One is the war on cash. They want to do away with cash, go to digital currency. That's part of this. Part of that effort includes blockchain technology. And I think in the future I'm going to refer to that as block, ball, and chain. And I've got a link to that effect under Hour 2. We'll get to that tomorrow. And the government wants to identify resources that they can confiscate. They have a number of ways of doing that. one, there's been talk about instituting a wealth tax because they've done everything else they can to try and get money out of us. And I talked about why that would be so bad, because it would just crush asset prices in order to pay that tax, and could cause a financial collapse just on its own. So to identify, what your wealth is, they have to identify what you own. But it gets even worse than that. While the federal government has moved to somewhat limit what states can do with civil asset forfeiture, the federal government has kept all of that for themselves. So whether you're, one of the common things is, the war on drugs, the drug prohibition. Let's say, you are a drug user, even if you aren't, they'll plant the evidence. Now, anything that's connected with that can be seized. Well, you've got this entity out there that could have been where you put your drug money at, so they'll just take that from you as well. And of course, under 21st century America, you're guilty until proven innocent. And of course, you can almost never prove the innocence. And even if you have an opportunity, it's very hard to fund your defense since they've stolen everything from you. And then in addition to that, that database of ownership, would that be made available to attorneys? And I believe it would. I think what they say is all the attorney has to do is they're working on discovery for a case, and they can go peruse that, see what people own, and you'd see a bunch of lawsuits trying to take from these people that were trying to protect their assets. So that's kind of in a nutshell what's going on with this Panama Papers deal. Vincent?
John, let me see if I've got this right. So we have a database of assets, and the other team wants to steal the assets from those who work for the assets. Is that correct? There's one team, that'd be us, and we're working hard to make things better. The American dream, better than our parents. Our parents wanted to do better than their parents and so forth. So we're all trying to work hard, have a nice place to live, try to do the right thing, accumulate some assets. And the other team, instead of working for assets, they just want to steal them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this basically gets everything that the millionaires and billionaires that are not part of the elite have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking yesterday with a guy who started a company, and he's doing really well. He's working really hard. Started out penniless, literally penniless. Built a business. It's doing really well because he's good at what he does. He's not stealing from anybody. He's not bribing. He's just doing a really good job, and it's working. The old way of building a business, the hard way. And so you're talking about guys like that, guys who've accumulated assets, but not part of those who are bribing the politicians and so forth. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, these are the people that could possibly fund a resistance to the corrupt politicians that we have in D.C. and elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Have a nice day.
It's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating. I've said many years ago that if royalty came over and wanted to have lunch with me or you or any of us, we'd end up paying for lunch. Prince Charles comes and is going to have lunch with us. Oh, he doesn't even carry a wallet, right? So we would end up buying his lunch. That's how I see it. Of course, I wouldn't want to have lunch with him. What's next?
Well, now we're up to hour one. hiding drones.
Yeah, hiding. Wow, it's pretty frightening.
The Navy is looking to put secret pods to have hibernating drones deep below the sea. And then when they're needed, and it says here that they'd be on the seabed for years at a time. And then if a threat emerges, the pods are released remotely, they float to the surface, and then the drones will, like the Navy does on carriers, unfurl their wings and take off. And then they've got these drones pre-deployed to wherever they need to use them. And one of the thoughts I had about this is, where can we get that kind of battery technology for our use?
You're absolutely right.
Because to have something under the sea for years at a time and still be viable, can you imagine if we had that for our survival needs?
Mm-hmm. You know, as you say that, one of the things that was crossing my mind is the MRAPs. So Congress approves the purchase of twice as many MRAPs as the military requests, and then they say, well, we have too many MRAPs, and let's offer these to our sheriffs, and they can come get them. $1 million worth of hardware each, and they're free for the taking if a sheriff wants one. And so sheriffs come and pick them up and then place them all over the country. So we have these MRAPs that are already deployed, ready to go. No keys. You don't need keys. You just get in and start it right up. They're pre-deployed all over the country. The sheriffs are patting themselves on the back. What a great thing. They got this $1 million piece of gear for free. And now the federal government knows where they are. There's a database of where all these MRAPs are, because they're not going to give away an MRAP and not know where it is at all times. So now, pre-deployed, they don't even have to transport these things in the event of whatever they want to do to us. They've already got the equipment right here and right there, all over the country. MRAPs are all over the country. These sheriffs have been duped into this. And then we the villagers have been duped, just like that idiotic lady I remember at the back of the restaurant when I was doing the MC about the MRAP with Joey, the criminal Kyle, Sheriff Joey Kyle, Constitutional Sheriff and Peace Officers Association. Him, that guy, that criminal. He was asked by this woman, Sheriff, are you saying that'll keep us safe? And he goes, oh, yes, that'll keep you safe. Yep, that's what we're going to use it for. And she said, well, I'm all for it then. And then a whole bunch of other villagers said, well, if it's going to keep us safe, that's great. So Joey Kyle was the sheriff of Christian County, Missouri, pled guilty to crimes. And supposedly he's going to be in federal detention in prison for a year and a day for his crimes against the villagers. That's our Sheriff Joey Kyle. Constitutional sheriff, how about that? So he had an MRAP. Actually, about 6 MRAPs around Springfield, Missouri at last count. Maybe there's more now. Hiding right there in plain sight. Kind of like what you're talking about, John. What is this with the military? They got to beat up everybody?
I didn't even include it, but the FBI has been... The story's out of California, but I'm sure they're doing it elsewhere. They're bugging bus stops, they're bugging trees, lampposts, you name it. And it's kind of funny, when you see on TV or movies, people go to the, someplace outside to have a private conversation. They don't want to be overheard. And in fact, that might be exactly where the FBI wants you to go, because they can, record just you talking because you're the only 2 people out there.
Isn't it ridiculous the lengths that these people go to and the amount of money that they steal from us in order to do this? And we allow this nonsense? I don't feel comfortable traveling. I don't feel comfortable going to lots of places, public places anymore. I just don't. I don't know if they have cameras in every elevator or just some elevators. I mean, really? How did we ever allow this to happen? It's disgusting. I was traveling in my truck, and the light turned yellow as I was in the process of making the turn through the intersection. I'm wondering if I'm going to get a ticket, and I'm wondering if they're going to show that no, it wasn't yellow, it was red. You know, we've got evidence. We've got a picture of the light. We got a picture of you. We got a picture of the car. Hard to read those tags that are all banged up, but we think it's you, and here's your summons. I can just see it. It was yellow. I was in the intersection, and it was yellow. It wasn't like I was running a light, but these are the kind of things we have to worry about now, because we are guilty, according to the system, until proven innocent. It's nuts. Captain John Regan's going to be right back with us after these few short...
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
We call it the crapper, water closet, outhouse, or bathroom. But where do you go when there's nowhere to go? The answer is the Biffy Bag. The Biffy Bag is a pocket-sized disposable toilet that fits in your glove box, tackle box, toolbox, backpack, or purse. The Biffy Bag has everything you need for a sanitary and comfortable relief experience. It's ready to use in just seconds, and just toss it in the trash when you're done. It's your Biffy in a jiffy. BiffyBag.com. BiffyBag.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and Off the Grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a select quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
It must have been something I said because we got disconnected just as we were going into the commercial break. And I'm sitting here with a telephone talking into the telephone, headphones on, and in the microphone at the same time. I'd like to ask our engineer, which would you like me to use? Or both? Okay. All right. I got it. All right. I just hung up on the telephone. We're good. Okay. Back to you, John Regan.
Well, let's see if we can finish hour number one. The pension trap is how I have the link entitled. And this goes to an article that talks about pension debt exceeds $40,000 per household. Now, when I wrote the Financial State of the Union, I didn't talk about pensions because in the scheme of things, talking about the unfunded liabilities of Social Security and Medicare, pensions are small beans. It's not that they aren't important. In fact, we're seeing them cause problems all over the place. We've talked about private pensions several times, where the unions are starting to get the heat from the unfunded pension plans. It's also happening in other countries, not just the United States. But here we have a website that comes out of Stanford. And the site itself, the link's on the first line of the article. It's us.pensiontracker.org. And if you do the about, you see this is actually put together by a team of about 15 people at Stanford. Now, Stanford's not exactly known to be part of the vast right-wing conspiracy, and I'm almost envious because all the work I do, it's the team of me, myself, and I. So these 15 people put together this website, pension debt for state and local governments. And you can drill down and see it by year and by state and all kinds of nice tools. And they've done a couple of things on running the numbers. They use an actuarial rate, which assumes that you would get a 7.5% on the investments, and that hasn't been able to be achieved in a long time. And with more and more governments going to negative rates on their bonds, you actually have to make more just to make up for holding bonds. And I believe the stock market's pretty much topped out, especially since QE has ended. So we're going to see the value of stocks go down, which, it's this is even worse because now you're losing your investment on the stock side. So they ran the numbers using a 3% rate of return. And using that 3% rate of return, it would take $4.8 trillion to fund the state and local pension plans. And again, that's not the amount of money that they need to pay out the benefits. That's the amount of money they would need today, earning 3% per year in order to fully fund those pension plans. Vincent.
As you were saying that, I was thinking about Chelsea Clinton's husband. His name is Mark Mezvinsky, and he had a hedge fund, and he shut it down after losing 90% of the investors' money. He lost 90%, and he didn't even have the decency to say he was sorry. He lost millions. And I can see this as a trend. And I can't see how it's going to be reversed. Can you, John?
No, I think it's funny. Hillary says she's going to go after the investment bankers. And I think there was an asterisk there. And follow the asterisk says, son-in-law not included.
Yeah. Now, her son-in-law's father, I believe he is a convicted felon for irregularities in other financial investment schemes. Isn't that right? Maybe we can talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, this is what we're talking about. So you could have a president connected to a guy who just shut down a hedge fund because he lost 90% of his clients' money. 90%. You got to be an idiot to do that. But he lives in a $10 million apartment. Yeah, Chelsea and her husband live in a $10 million apartment. Is that what we want representing? Is that the best and finest we can find? I seriously doubt it. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We call it the crapper, water closet, outhouse, or bathroom. But where do you go when there's nowhere to go? The answer is the Biffy Bag. The Biffy Bag is a pocket-sized disposable toilet that fits in your glove box, tackle box, toolbox, backpack, or purse. The Biffy Bag has everything you need for a sanitary and comfortable relief experience. It's ready to use in just seconds, and just toss it in the trash when you're done. It's your Biffy in a jiffy. BiffyBag.com. BiffyBag.com.
A good stove is at the top of the list for any serious survivalist. That's why you have to see the full range at Emberlit.com. Simple, elegant, but extraordinarily efficient. Available in titanium or stainless steel, the Emberlit line of stoves are ultralight, pack flat, and work great. Fueled only by sticks and debris. From emergency situations to long-term survival, Emberlit stoves are up to the task. Emberlit, the most convenient, easy-to-carry wood stoves on the planet. See them all at Emberlit.com.